What up, world? It's eternal authenticity broadcasting live, the one and only Sky Blackwell. Eternal authenticity broadcasting live. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to this audio message. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. I'm doing this message a early morning, early rising message. I love to wake up early consistently. You know, the early bird gets the worm. So I've always loved, being productive. Of course, when I was younger, a lot of times maybe I didn't want to wake up early, for school and stuff. My parents, they would have to wake me up and, I'll be kind of like, sometimes I'll be excited because maybe I had, certain things to look forward to at school, certain, fun, whatever activities, fun things planned, with friends or whatever, but a lot of times I was like, oh man, I don't want to wake up early, I don't want to go to school or work. There's sometimes been different jobs where I'm like, oh man, like this feels like a death sentence, like a prison sentence, a jail sentence. Going to a lot of those jobs, it's like slavery. A lot of those jobs are slavery. However, I've been able to grow, I've been able to develop and evolve to now, I'm always consistently waking up early. And this has been for several years where I've changed my routine, I've changed my patterns, my habits for the better. Where, there's no more me sleeping in all day, sleeping in, till noon or in the afternoon and stuff like that. That was many, many, many years ago, when I was whatever, trying to party and hang out and go to the club and, drink, what I'm saying, and just be out with all these associates, all these people and stuff. That was messing with my health. That was messing with my energy and my sleep cycle. And that's not good. But now I feel better because, I am 9 years alkaline plant-based vegan, Sky Blackwell, Eternal Authenticity. I am on my ninth year being plant-based vegan, alkaline, and I feel great. I'm much healthier. I'm much more energized. My voice is much clearer. You can see the progress. You can see my transformation over the years. You can check my first video until now, and you can see my evolution. I'm more confident. I'm more stable. I'm more stronger. I'm more balanced. I'm more structured. I have more order. I have more order and stability in my life. Um, I'm more passionate. I'm more enthusiastic, about life. And I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in several years. I don't do drugs or cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? So like no tobacco. You know what I'm saying? None of that. And like that's been able. That's been helping me to be able to wake up better with more energy. Little things like my diet, my nutrition, being plant-based vegan, with my eating patterns and when I eat and having my bowel movements and drinking my herbal teas and my fasting and taking care of my hygiene and, prayer, meditation, listening to the word, listening to mentors for guidance, for, you know, helpful wisdom. You know what I'm saying? All of this has helped me. Of course, talking to God every day. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm grateful to God every day. I always thank God every day I wake up. I thank God every night I go to sleep. You know, and I'm honored I can wake up earlier with more energy now. I don't need any stimulants. I don't drink caffeine. I don't take caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't need coffee. I don't need any of those, fake supplements, fake energy supplements. I don't drink energy drinks. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff. This is raw passion. This is raw heart. This is raw godly energy. God is operating me. God is flowing through me. God has given me this strength. God has given me this power. God has given me this courage and boldness to keep going so strong every day, you know. So live life with gratitude, live life with gratitude. There's ups and downs. There's plenty of ups and downs, but you have to make sure you stay grounded so you can handle the ups and downs. Just like when we're real young, when we're children, when we're 4, 5, 6 years old, we're outdoors more often. We're playing on the playground. We're playing, different games and sports and different activities, with other peers, other classmates, other friends, you know what I'm saying? And we're outdoors more. We might be going down the slide. We might be on some roller coaster or on some, merry-go-round or some type of obstacle course, something, and we have fun through the thrill, uh, playing different sports and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe you fall or you slip or you might trip up, but you keep going. You enjoy it. You're a child. We enjoy those, field day activities, those fun, happy, youthful activities, whether it's playing tag or throwing the frisbee or, playing basketball or dodgeball or, whatever. Like I said, riding down the slides or climbing the monkey bars. Maybe sometimes you might be climbing the monkey bars in the jungle gym, in the playground, the jungle gym, the playground, and maybe you might lose your grip. You might slip. Your hands might slip, and you may fall one time. You know what I'm saying? Different when you're young, you bump your head. When I was young, playing basketball all the time, all day, every day, all night on the concrete, sometimes I fell. Sometimes I scraped my knees. Sometimes my knees got bloody because I fell. You know what I'm saying? But like through the spirit of God, through the power of God, I was always all right. I always knew I was going to be okay. Through thick and thin, I always knew I was going to be taken care of. I'm always going to be taken care of. I'm always protected. I'm always good because I'm chosen by God. God is on my side forever. I have the favor of God on my life forever. I have the favor of God on my life forever, so I'm always divinely protected forever. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. So like, that's the same thing with life. You have to think of it like when you're a child, you have less fears because you have the grace of God. You know God is with you. Your heart is in the right place. It's in a pure place. When you're in a pure, righteous frequency, then God takes care of us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I realized. So it's, as we get older, we get all these fears and all these worries and anxiety and problems and stuff. But you have to go back to like how you were when you were a child. You're more free. You're more free. You're more happy. You're more vibrant. You're more inspired, and you're fearless. You know what I'm saying? You had less fear because your heart is more pure and you're more happy, and that God is going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Family, your parents, or God is going to take care of you. When you're younger. So like playing, hopscotch or jump rope, hopscotch, playing tag or football or soccer or frisbee or the monkey bars or going down the slide or going on the Ferris wheel, all this, or the merry-go-round, all these different playful activities, outdoor activities. Sometimes, you may slip or you may cut yourself a little bit by accident because you're just having fun. You're just having fun. You may be out hiking or in the jungle, and it's just part of life, but you're going to be good, so that's that's the great understanding I've been able to develop throughout life, is to have fun and just carry that good, positive attitude every day, you know. Yes, it sounds easier said than done. Yes, I know there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of drama, and a lot of people are going through a lot of bad pain. People are suffering, I know, but like, it's on us. We have to find that light within us. We have to seek God from within us. God did not, God did not make us incomplete. God don't make mistakes. God, God is not weak. God is not mediocre. God is phenomenal. God is almighty, divine, supreme, beyond our comprehension. You know, God is our ultimate, wonderful, most highest, powerful creator. You know, so my trust is in God every day. I'm grateful for God every day throughout my whole journey. Sometimes I'm reflecting. I'm like, wow, I can't even believe the stuff I've been through. I've been through so much stuff. What I go through in just 5 years is what most people never even experience in their whole entire life. You know, because I'm an active energy. I attract a lot of activity. I attract a lot of life, a lot of blessings, you know, and I'm blessed. I always knew God was real since day one, since birth, all throughout all of my incarnations throughout eternity. I'm always a child of God. And through this present incarnation, yes, of course, I love my family, my blood relatives, my parents. Thank you. I'm grateful for my parents. They have always helped me, and my relatives. They have always been supportive. So thank you to my aunts, my grandmas, my, uncles, my cousins, and thank you to my parents. You know, I know life ain't easy, but I'm grateful that I have a family, and one day I'm getting married. One day, soon, I will have a wife and children. Yes, I'm getting married. I will have a wife and children. You know, I'm moving forward in that loyal, committed direction, you know, and I always knew that just, God is real. From within my heart, I knew that, you know, there's, there's so much more beauty to life than what a lot of people try to distract you with. A lot of people try to uh, put negativity or fear inside of you. They try to discourage you, but nah. God is God is so amazing. God is so glorious. So like I always stay inspired. I always stay inspired, and I knew throughout the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations that I was gonna make it. I was gonna be okay, because you have to question your existence, question your reality. You really do have to put your faith and trust in God if you really want to be at peace, And yeah, that's the honest truth. I had to do that. I had to really, really become isolated and alone for a very, 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 very long time. God has had me isolated and alone throughout different periods of my life. And it's because God has been healing me. God has been healing me. God has been strengthening me. God has been strengthening me and protecting me, you know. So like I've been able to reflect and I've been able to develop a stronger trust and faith in God every day. Yes, people, they could talk all this talk, or they could say they go to a church or whatever, but nah, you gotta really, really put in that work, within. That's your personal connection with God. That's on you and the creator, you know, and I had to get real with myself. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm doing my best every day. But I knew, hey, I'm worthy. I'm worthy to be in love. I'm worthy to be accepted by my wife, by my queen, the woman of my dreams. I'm worthy to be prioritized. I'm worthy to, you know, I'm worthy to receive lifelong commitment from my wife. You know, I'm worthy for this deep, special, faithful, pure, loyal, intimate love. You know, I'm worthy for financial freedom. You know, I'm not going to be stressing and suffering at these mediocre, low paying slave jobs. You know, I'm not going to be suffering and draining my energy at these low paying jobs. It's always the same old, same old. You know, I've been working jobs for over 10 years, 10, 11 years. You know what I'm saying? 12 years, actually. I've been working jobs for over 12 years personally. Yes, I know there's people that work longer. There's people that's been working jobs many more years. That's good for you. For me, though, I'm good on that. You know, I came here to be an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I am a powerful and successful entrepreneur. I am an intelligent and prosperous businessman. I am a successful and prosperous businessman. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. I am a service provider. I am a true, lifelong, rich entrepreneur, you know. So I had to ignore family and friends, you know, all these family and friends. They think they know what's best for us. Nah, I'm not here to work a job. I've already been working jobs for all these years and it has not gotten me anything. Nothing. No money. No awards. No appreciation. No recognition. No nothing. No money. Just the rat race. Just chasing my tail just to barely get by. That's what a job is. It's just you work just to barely get by. Just over broke. That's what job stands for. Just over broke. Just getting by. Working all day for someone else and you're getting paid just to barely make it. Just to barely pay a bill. You know? And I had to realize, no, this is not my life. Personally, no. I'm not about to settle with this. I'm a free spirit. I'm a free spirit. And I'm a visionary. I'm a visionary. I'm very creative. And I'm a free spirit. Personally, uniquely, this is me specifically in a custom way. I'm not nobody else. I'm not anybody else. I am myself. I am only myself. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. This is how God designed me. This is how God created me in a wonderful way. So I'm accepting myself. I am a true, successful, rich entrepreneur. And I had to make peace with that. You know, I'm worthy of real monogamous love. I'm worthy to be financially free. You know, I don't have to worry about being in poverty or borrowing and asking for money and selling out and trying to work a job and this and that. No, I'm running my businesses. I'm providing my streams of service for people. You know, I'm providing for my family. And, you know, yeah, I had to get my mind right. You know, I'm not going to tolerate nonsense. I'm not going to tolerate mediocrity. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect or bad circumstances. You know, I have peace. I am peaceful. I have peace from the world. I'm walking with peace amongst me every day. I have peace. I have respect everywhere I go. I am the most respected. I am respected everywhere I go in this world, in this universe, in this planet Earth. I'm always respected and I have peace. I am protected. You know, I'm always protected. I have justice working in my favor. I have divine justice working in my favor. I have beautiful miracles happening for me. I have I have an abundance of beautiful miracles and blessings that are happening for me in my life now and forever, you know, and I'm always going to be happy. I'm always going to be happy. I'm always going to take care of myself. I'm always going to be in love. I'm always going to stay, I'm always going to stay committed to my wife, and I'm always going to honor my wife. I'm always going to take care of my children. I'm always going to stay faithful and loyal to my wife. I'm always going to be there for my wife and children. And I'm happy I'm serving God with my wife and children. I'm happy that is, God is protecting my family. God is always protecting my family. God is always strengthening my marriage. God is always strengthening my marriage. God is always improving my finances. God is always blessing me. God is always blessing me financially. And I'm so grateful. You know, God is always restoring me with good healing energy. God is constantly healing me. God is constantly healing me and developing me to become better, you know. And I had to get my mind right. I had to go within. I had to be quiet. I had to be still. I had to spend a lot of time alone. But be grateful through the ups and downs. You know, that's my message. You know, like I put in serious work and, you know, I'm committed for life. I'm living a long life. I'm growing old with my wife and, you know, I'm growing old with my wife. I'm going to see my children. I'm going to see my children, my grandchildren and great grandchildren. They're going to grow up, you know. But yeah, I'm living happily ever after with my wife and, you know, I'm living happily ever after with my wife, and I'm enjoying lovely moments with my children and my family. And I'm very grateful. I'm very honored for my tribe, my community, my supporters, my people, you know, that may not be blood related, but people that genuinely support me. Thank you. People that genuinely love to help me and they love to listen to me and they love to talk with me and they get inspired by my wisdom, by my passion, by my energy. Thank you. Thank you for people that reach out to me and they invest into me. Thank you for people that send me positive, kind, peaceful love. Thank you for your harmonious love energy to my community, my people, my tribe, my family, you know, blood relatives and non-blood. So thank you. You know, I know it's been ups and downs. There'll be a lot of drama in the world. And sometimes I've been pissed off. I've been real angry about a lot of different stuff. But I had to sit with God and realize, you know, I can't be crashing out anymore. You know, that crash out lifestyle, you know, that's not going to last. You know, so I had to learn to be patient. I had to learn to sit with my emotions. I had to sit with my emotions, sit with my feelings. I had to learn to face myself and heal. I had to face myself and heal every day, regardless of what's going on the outside, regardless if I have money or not, regardless if I have subscribers or people are listening or supporting or not, regardless if, you know, I'm in a relationship, if my woman is with me or not, or if I'm separated and I have all this space. I had to keep going, because that's the thing about God. God is the eternal truth. God is the creator. God is the Alpha. God is the Omega. God always is the one in control. God is forever. You know, so I knew, hey, You know, this is my lease of life. This is my faith. This is my hope. This is my trust. My faith, my hope, and my trust is in God. And no, I'm never ashamed. I'm never ashamed to be a believer. I'm always a proud believer. I'm always a committed, victorious believer. I am an honorable, victorious believer. And I'm happy I'm inspiring other people. I'm happy I am helping millions of people all around the world through the power of God. I'm coaching people. I'm helping people to detox. I'm helping people to lose weight and detox. I'm helping people to have more energy and live a higher quality of life. You know, I'm doing serious work. I'm for real changing people's lives for the better. This is not a scam. This is not a joke. This is not a one-time thing. This is not temporary. I am destined for greatness. I have a long-term shelf life. I'm leaving a monumental legacy behind for my children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and all of the world to be inspired. You know, I, I'm working on long-term success. I am building long-term success. I am creating generational wealth, you know. So I'm chosen. It ain't always easy, but it's worth it in the end because I'm living my true life purpose assigned to me by God. I am living, I am living my true life purpose that has been specifically assigned to me by God, you know. So I have that peace. I'm able to take my time. I'm able to go at my own pace. I'm going at my own pace, and every day I'm showing up. I'm showing up. I'm doing my best. I'm believing in my dreams. I'm believing in God is helping me to win. I'm believing in God is helping me to win and be happy and live a great life, you know. So I'm holding on to my dreams and visions. And, like I said, I'm bouncing back. I'm moving forward in a positive direction. You know, I'm not staying stuck in toxic loops. I'm not staying stuck in negativity or doubt or bad vibes. No, I'm moving forward. I'm ascending. I am ascending to higher new levels of happiness, health, peace, and riches. You know, so I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for critics. I don't have time for, critics, criticisms, judgments, drama. I don't have time for hate and ungrateful energy. That is unacceptable. That is not welcomed here. Eternal authenticity, Sky Blackwell. This is a positive, healthy, godly, harmonious space. That's why I'm always successful. I'm always shining so bright. I'm always receiving so much love. I'm always receiving so much appreciation, so many kind, encouraging words and helpful blessings. I'm receiving good things from the universe constantly because this is who I am. I'm being who I truly am. I'm being my true self. I'm being who God created me to be. Most people, they're lost. They're living a double life. They're faking it. They don't even know who they are. Most people, they're wearing a mask. They're wearing a mask. They have a false identity. They have a false identity, but me, that's the difference. I'm the leader. I'm the truth. I'm the real one. I'm actually awake. Sky, Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. So, you have to go within to find that knowledge from God. It's a process. It's a journey. It's a gift. This is a gift of life. Like, we have to unlock it from within us. It's not outside. You know, we have to go within. Yes, we can listen to helpful mentors with wisdom. But at the end of the day, we have to live our own life. I have to show up even when I want to be married and my woman, she ain't around. I have all this space, all this separation, all this no contact, all this silence from my twin flame, from my specific person, and it sucks. After all the failed relationships, and then this even more silence, more no contact. It sucks, but I had to be strong. I had to realize God is making me stronger. When I'm seeing everybody, they got all these children, everybody's married, everybody got a girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, and I'm all alone. You know, all feel like I don't fit in. It's like, when will my time ever come? When will my time ever come? That's what I've been asking, you know. But instead of me spazzing out, instead of me, trying to fight the world, instead of me trying to attack the world because I'm angry, because, what I want still isn't here yet, instead of me being destructive, I had to choose to take a peaceful route. I'm choosing to live a peaceful life. I'm choosing to live a righteous life. I'm choosing to live a harmonious life. I'm choosing to live a graceful life. So I had to learn to slow my roll. I had to slow my temper down. I had to slow things down so I can speed up in a more positive way. I had to learn to be more patient and really find meaning. I had to find meaning. I had to listen to God. I had to listen to God's voice. Like, this is real life. This is not just something you throw away. This is not something you take for granted. This is not something you throw away. This is not something you fool around with. This is a real life gift. This incarnation and all the other incarnations. So it's a responsibility. Life is a responsibility. We have to be responsible, so every day I'm being grateful. I'm making peace and I'm moving forward, recognizing, hey, this is my life. I came here to win big. I'm going to win big. I'm living big. I'm playing big. I'm living the good life, so there's no time for drama. There's no time for going backwards to a worse situation, so I'm going to conclude on this positive note. Sky Blackwell, turn off intensity. Make sure you take care of your heart. Make sure you pray. Make sure you meditate. Make sure you find some way to count your blessings. Find some way to count your blessings and give thanks. Find some way to slow down and connect with your heart space. And no, it doesn't mean holding everybody's hand saying kumbaya. No, I'm talking about connecting with God through your heart space alone. Alone, finding out what your purpose is. Finding out what your purpose is. Learning more about ourselves. That's how I've learned how to appreciate alone time. Because, hey, I'm not going to force nothing with people. I'm not going to force nothing. I'm not going to chase people around. I'm not going to beg people to be in my life. that don't even want to be around. I'm not going to chase people around to hang out with me or talk to me when clearly I see by their actions that they don't want to talk, that they're not available, they don't have time. So that's why I've learned to just accept being alone. That, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I have peace. I have peace and I'm free and I'm closer to God. So I trust, it's seasons and cycles. You know what I mean? It may be a long time now, but then the season for me to get married and finally to have children and live happily ever after and raise the children and grow old together, that season is coming for me. I just had to earn my stripes and, I had to I'm putting in the work. I'm always going to put in the work forever. But it's like God has our life happening in a specific divine order. Everything happens in divine order. I'm not comparing myself to other people's life. I'm not comparing myself to others. I'm trusting God's divine timing because it's specific divine timing. It's not this instant overnight, boom, boom, boom. Let me have this. Let me have that. Let me have this, that, now. No, it takes time. It takes time. It's like a tree, takes time to grow. It's like a baby. A baby takes time to grow in the mother's womb, 9 months. It takes time for us in our life purpose. This ongoing process. I'm going above and beyond. I'm living a long life. So it never ends. I am maximizing my time in this incarnation so I can continue to ascend and live a better life in my next incarnation and next incarnations after that. I'm constantly continuing to elevate and live a better life in every incarnation, So it's our choice from birth to death. How do we choose to live our life? How do we choose to spend our time? Some people, they live a destructive life. They're distracted. They're unproductive. They're very negative and they're not inspiring anybody. They're not helping anybody. They're only worried about themselves. Many people are self-absorbed narcissists. There's a lot of narcissists and self-absorbed sociopaths out there, and you gotta ignore those people, you gotta make sure that you do the right thing. You focus on God's word. You focus on God's word. You focus on God's will and doing the right thing. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. God looks at our heart. Are we doing the right thing? So the answer is yes. I'm taking responsibility for my life. Yes, I'm always doing the right thing every day. Even if it's unpopular, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody's saying thank you, nobody's around, and it just seems like nobody cares. But I know God cares. I know God is with us every second, every step. So I'm never going to be taking shortcuts. I'm never going to be trying to hide and cover up stuff from God because God sees it all. God sees it all. So, there's no running away. We have to learn to be accountable. We have to learn to be accountable and live a pure life. We have to purify ourselves, So, thank y'all for listening. That's what I had to talk about this morning, this rising. I hope y'all have a lovely, terrific, wonderful day. Take care. Stay blessed. Be grateful through thick and thin. That's my message. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. Be grateful through thick and thin. You know, be grateful through thick and thin. Really count your blessings and be patient. You know, it's a life journey. It's a life journey. Just be patient with your steps. Be wise. Be wise. Be righteous. Be respectful. With each step you take, be respectful. You know, so thank y'all for listening. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. It's been an honor, as always, speaking to everybody that's listening. Click the like button. Like this video now. Click the like button. Like this video now to help this video to inspire more people worldwide. And y'all follow me. Connect with me on Instagram at eternal authenticity. At eternal authenticity. I can give you a detox, nutritional wellness consultation, wisdom, knowledge, information. I got you with sea moss or alkaline herbs, detox herbs. You know, I got recipe ebooks. You know, I got herbal knowledge, healing information ebooks. So just find a way to reach out to me. Find a way to send me some positive vibes. At eternal authenticity. At eternal authenticity. Sky Blackwell on Instagram. And y'all stay blessed. Click the like button. And y'all take care. Thank you. And yes, be grateful through thick and thin. So that's God. God is the higher power. You know, I'm always doing my best. I'm doing my part. You know, I'm a human. So I'm doing my human part. And I'm allowing God to guide me. I'm allowing God to guide me every day. You know, this is a relationship, a commitment, you know, for life. You know what I'm saying? It's a partnership, the ultimate one. Me and God. So I'm doing my human part. And of course, God is the creator. God is our almighty God. And God is the one that's in control. So I'm making sure I'm in good standing and I am obeying God every day. I'm doing my best and I'm allowing God to take care of the rest. I'm allowing God to handle the rest. I'm making sure I'm sacrificing and I'm staying obedient to God forever. So thank y'all for listening. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Click the like button. Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. Be grateful through thick and thin. It's eternal authenticity, broadcasting live. Peace.